What's up, what's good? It's your girl Jasmine back on the channel. Yes ma'am, yes sir. So today, y'all know I love me some sports, especially basketball. But today we got the 10 greatest comebacks in sports history. Now before we start this video, I just want to say I appreciate you for clicking on this video, whether you're a supporter, aka a Beast and Crew member. And how you become a Beast and Crew member is where you hit that subscribe button, turn on the post notification bell. Yes ma'am, yes sir. Okay, we have fun over here. And like I said, I'm nothing without you all. I appreciate you all. Y'all help me keep me going, keep a smile on my face, and I hope I do the same in return. The greatest comebacks, you know how many comebacks have happened in sports history? Now, don't get me wrong, I don't watch like hockey. I watch highlights of baseball. I don't watch too much soccer. But I do watch football and I absolutely love basketball. And personally, one of my favorite comebacks is when I've seen Tracy McGrady scored like 14 points in like 30 seconds, bro, and won the game. I think they won. That was so insane to me. In 40 seconds, bro. And then also, I feel like when LeBron and them was down 3-1, came back and won the whole thing. Y'all gotta let me know one of y'all favorite comebacks. Alright, let me know down below. But let's go ahead and get to this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, push that notification bell so you know notification I post. That being said, let's get it.
In 1993, the Bills' chances of advancing to a third straight Super Bowl were nearly zero. In their wild card game against the Houston Oilers, they trailed by 32 points in the second half. And adding insult to injury, Buffalo's usual starting QB and future Hall of Famer Jim Kelly suffered an injury in Week 17 that kept him out of the wild card. So the Bills were forced to turn to Frank Reich, yes, the Colts' current head coach. Morale is as low as it gets for Buffalo in the third quarter, after falling behind 35-3 thanks to a pick-six thrown by Reich. And to make things worse, future Hall of Fame running back Thurman Thomas was knocked out of the game with a hip injury.
Dang.
A Houston radio announcer at the time said, "The lights are on here in Rich Stadium. They've been on since this morning. You could pretty much turn them out on the Bills right now." But the Bills weren't fazed and refused to fold, responding immediately on their next drive with a touchdown. Buffalo in the third quarter went on a scoring tear, rattling off a total of 28 points. After somehow clawing their way back into the game, the Bills sent it into overtime and now had a chance to cap off a historic comeback.
Wow.
But in OT, the Oilers won the coin toss and got the ball first.
Hold on. So what city or state was the Oilers in? I never heard of the Oilers. Is that what he's saying? The Oilers? But the fact that it was 35-3 and y'all let them come back and go to OT, that's wild.
Feeling like a team of destiny, the Bills' defense got Buffalo the ball back by intercepting future Hall of Famer Warren Moon. Getting the better of Moon gave Buffalo the perfect chance to kick a game-winning field goal. A few plays later, Steve Christie's right leg sent a 32-yard field goal soaring through the uprights to give the Bills a 41-38 victory and the largest comeback in NFL history, including regular season games. Curse of the Bambino. In the 2004 ALCS, the Red Sox trailed their arch rivals the Yankees 3-0 in the series, as no team in MLB history had ever come back from that deficit. And thanks to the curse of the Bambino, Boston was in the middle of an 87-year World Series drought. The Red Sox in 1920 traded Babe Ruth to the Yankees for only $125,000 and have been cursed, not winning a World Series.
That's a lot of money for the 1920s. That's bank. That's crazy.
1918. On top of the commanding series lead, the Yankees in Game 4 held a one-run advantage heading into the ninth inning, with the greatest closer of all time on the mound in Mariano Rivera. With the curse seeming alive and well as Rivera almost never gave up any runs, Boston found a way to score one and tie the game with some clutch hitting. After scoreless 10th and 11th innings for both teams, Boston came up to bat in the bottom of the 12th with a chance to win the game. David Ortiz stepped up to the plate and sent a baseball flying into the Boston sky that landed just beyond the right field wall for a walk-off homer that gave Boston a sliver of hope. Game 5 provided for more extra inning heroics from Big Papi, who hit another walk-off, this time in the 14th inning. With momentum now clearly on Boston's side, the Sox took Games 6 and 7 by scores of 4-2 and 10-3. To this day, there still has not been another MLB team to come back from down 3-0, and only one other team has ever even tied the series. After winning their first pennant since 1986, Boston went on to sweep the Cardinals in the World Series, finally breaking the curse of the Great Bambino. Tale of two comeback.
Yo, before we get to hockey, who's y'all favorite baseball team? If y'all like baseball, who's y'all favorite baseball team and player? I would like to know that. Baseball players, they be getting paid. Like, oh my gosh. Like, they be signing contracts for like 340 million. Like, oh my, baseball, they be getting paid. All these athletes be getting paid for real, but like, baseball, basketball. I don't know about hockey though. I really don't. I don't know too much about hockey. What is happening?
By the time the
fault, y'all.
2013 first-round playoff series between the Bruins and Maple Leafs was over, each team had blown a significant lead in the most dramatic fashion. Ahead 3-1 in the series, Boston had a chance in Game 5 to deliver the knockout blow in front of their home crowd. But Toronto wouldn't back down, and in the hostile environment, they silenced the Boston faithful with a 2-1 victory.
It really be
the Leafs in
hostile?
Game 6 followed
Like,
up that
the fans,
gritty
they really be
performance
going
with an
crazy like
identical
it?
one, again winning 2-1.
I know
And just
NHL,
like
they
that,
do a lot
the
of
Bruins series
fighting,
lead had
though.
disappeared, leaving it all up to a decisive Game 7 back in Boston. Come Game 7, things were going perfectly for Toronto, as the Leafs with 10 minutes left held a 4-1 lead. No team in the history of the NHL playoffs had ever won a game after being down 3 goals after 2 periods, until the Bruins did the impossible and miraculously scored 3 unanswered goals, including 2 in the final 90 seconds of the game, sending the game into overtime. 6 minutes into OT, there was a scrum around Toronto's net, with the puck bouncing around. The puck eventually finds its way to the stick of Patrice Bergeron, who sent it straight into the back of the net for the game winner, capping off the insane comeback for Boston. 28-3.
You know what's crazy? Ice hockey. I cannot ice hockey. I cannot ice skate to save my life. I feel like ice skating is hard. Salute the hockey players, man, because they wear all that equipment and they gotta skate and it be cold. Like, what? And they gotta fight. That's crazy. I only know one hockey player, and that's what's his name? Alex Ovechkin, something like that. That's about it. I can't give you too many names on that.
Simply put, a team that is elite enough to make the Super Bowl should be able to hold a 25-point lead midway through the third quarter when their opponent has only scored a total of 3 points. ESPN's win probability metrics showed the Falcons had a 99.7% chance of beating the Patriots given the scenario. The only issue with that data is that it didn't factor in Tom Brady being the greatest quarterback of all time. TB12 rallied
Yo,
the troops.
you know I gotta ask y'all, is Tom the greatest quarterback of all time? Is he? Is it because of his rings? Or is it just because he's just that guy? Y'all gotta let me know, for real, for real.
And led them to points on every drive for the rest of the game. Inspired by Brady and the offense, the Pats' defense rose to the occasion too, and shut out the Falcons for the rest of regulation, as the game was sent into OT tied at 28. In overtime, the Pats won the coin toss, and obviously chose to receive. The world knew at this point that there was nothing that was going to stop TB12 from leading the Pats on a game-winning touchdown drive, which is exactly what happened. As James White crossed the goal line, Brady earned his 5th ring, and did so against all odds.
That's crazy.
Cleveland, this is for you.
Yeah.
The 2016 finals featured a record-setting team holding a lead that had never been come back from before against a city that hadn't won a title in 52 years. The Warriors, fresh off setting an NBA record for most regular season wins, were well on their way to a 2nd straight ring and the most dominant season by a team in NBA history. They held a 3-1 series lead, and no NBA team had ever come back from that in the finals. But a 1-game suspension handed to Draymond Green ahead of Game 5 ever so slightly opened the door for Cleveland. The Cavs made the most of Green's absence as they stole Game 5 in Oakland. In front of a rowdy home crowd for Game 6, the Cavs came out fighting for their livelihood. Behind a 2nd consecutive 41-point performance from LeBron, Cleveland rolled to a 14-point victory, and all of a sudden, the pressure was fully on the Warriors. Game 6.
Yo, I swear that series, that whole matchup was a beast. Like, that was a beast. Like, literally, LeBron, Kyrie, the whole team just came together and was like, bro, we gotta win. Like, it's like something clicked. Like, we got to win, and they just went crazy.
7 was hyped up to be an all-time classic, and it did not disappoint. There were 20 lead changes and 11 ties, as the Cavs and Warriors traded blows like a boxing title fight.
What y'all think of
With the game
Draymond
tied at
Green, man?
89
Y'all gotta
with
let me know
just
what y'all
under a
think of
minute
Draymond
left.
Green.
Kyrie hit a 3 over Steph that proved to be the game winner, as Golden State didn't score again. It was a storybook ending for a city that had suffered nothing but heartbreak over the previous half-century. Cubs end the drought. With the Indians up 3-1 in the 2016 World Series against the Cubs, Cleveland was on the verge of winning 2 titles in the same year after a 52-year drought. As for the Cubs, nightmares seemed like they would never end, as the club hadn't won the World Series since 1908.
Dang.
In a must-win Game 5, Chicago was determined not to have their season end at Wrigley. The Cubs outlasted the Indians in a hard-fought battle.
Hold on, what year was this? Because 1908, that's insane. What?
Winning 3-2 and sending the series back to Cleveland. Game 6 was not a close one. Chicago cruised to a 9-3 victory, meaning it was time for the 2 best words in all of sports. Game 7. The Cubs kept the momentum rolling, jumping out to a 5-1 lead. After exchanging a few runs, Chicago in the bottom of the 8th inning was up 6-3, only 4 outs away from a ring. The Cubs were exactly where they wanted to be. But after a 2-out infield single and RBI double, Rajai Davis sent the ballpark into a frenzy with a game-tying home run. As the game went into extra innings, Chicago was reminded of all the painful losses over the years and thought to themselves, here we go again. They were about to have their hearts ripped out one more time. But in the 10th inning, the Cubs scored 2 runs before only allowing 1 in the bottom half of the inning, ending a title drought older than almost any Cubs fan.
That's crazy.
I have the Tiger.
So which one y'all think is better? Y'all think it's better being a part of a championship? Well, winning a championship is insane in general. Like, let me not knock that. But let me ask this. Do y'all think winning a championship for an organization that hasn't won in like 50 years is the best? Or do you think like winning like back to back or going to an organization where they're known for like championships all the time, so where like if you win it's like it's excited, of course you're excited, but it's like, do you think they still get that same feeling as if somebody who was at an organization who hasn't won in like literally decades, like crazy? Let me know.
Viewed as the most dominant golfer the sport has ever seen, Tiger Woods had fallen on hard times. A man coming off 4 back surgeries along with a handful of personal scandals, Tiger's best days on the course were clearly behind him. Heading into the 2019 Masters, Woods had only won a single PGA Tour event in the previous 5 years. Surrounded by noise saying that he would never win another major title, Tiger went into golf's premier tournament with plenty to prove. After the opening 2 rounds, Woods was tied for 6th place and battling to stay in the fight. By making the cut, he was given a chance to do something special in the final 2 rounds over the weekend. Heading into the final round on Sunday, Tiger had gotten himself firmly in contention, tied for 2nd at 2 shots behind the leader. Sporting his iconic Sunday red, there was nobody stopping Tiger during his final round. He looked like the Tiger of old, the Tiger who inspired fear into his opponents by just being there. Woods finished the day 2 under par, winning the tournament by 1 shot at 13 under par. While it was Tiger's 15th major and 5th green jacket, it was his first major win in over a decade. After having been written off by countless people, it's safe to say that this one meant a little more than the others. The miracle of Istanbul.
Jackets,
for European soccer, the Champions League is the biggest and brightest stage, and the 2005 final between Liverpool and AC Milan appeared all but decided after only 1 half of play. Right from the start, Milan was the more dominant side and wasted no time showing this, scoring within the first minute. They didn't take the foot off the gas from there, scoring 2 more goals before half to take a 3-0 lead into the dressing room. At this point, the conversation was less about Liverpool winning the match and more about them just not getting even more embarrassed. But the Liverpool players came out for the second half re-energized and shocked the world. Within just 15 minutes, Liverpool had scored 3 goals to tie the game, and Milan was suddenly on their heels. The next 30 minutes was a deadlocked battle between 2 titans fighting for their lives. With neither team giving an inch, the score remained tied, even after 2 15-minute periods of extra time. It would have to be decided by penalty kicks. Milan couldn't have gotten off to a worse start with PKs, missing their first 2. Liverpool smelled blood in the water and made both of theirs to grab a 2-0 advantage. Milan responded by scoring 2, while Liverpool split their next pair. It all came down to Milan's 5th PK with Andriy Shevchenko. A goal would extend the competition, and a miss would give Liverpool the cup. The moment proved too large for Shevchenko, who sent a weak shot almost right down the middle. Liverpool's Jerzy Dudek made the game-winning save, giving Liverpool the improbable victory and their first Champions League trophy in over 2 decades.
I ain't gonna hold you. I don't know many soccer, football players, whatever you want to call the sport. I know some people call it football, some people call it soccer. I never really watched it, but the endurance, the leg strength that they have to have is crazy. It's crazy. And then like the defense, and then the blockers, like the goalies, like that's crazy too. Like, sheesh, the reaction time, like man. But only soccer football players I know is like Messi, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho. I know Zlatan. His name's Zlatan. I know it's like MBAPPE, like him. I know some like the big name people, but I don't know like any like Liverpool. Like I couldn't even tell you.
Flyers rally back.
I told them, hey mom, I spent 8 years on this degree, but I hate it, and
Yeah,
I really want to
ass
change
galore.
jobs. I'm sorry, I know this.
Regardless of the sport, a 3-0 series deficit is thought to be the nail in the coffin. And in the second round of the 2010 playoffs,
So a lot of
the
these
Flyers were
teams
down
done came
3-0
back
to the
from 3-0,
Bruins. Back
huh?
then, only two
That's
NHL
crazy.
teams had come from behind for the reverse sweep. In Game 4, it seemed like the Bruins were going to sweep the Flyers until Philly miraculously pulled off an OT
Oh, I know a Quick who's a goalie. I do know a Quick. I heard that name before.
win. With Game
It
5
just
in
randomly
Boston,
popped up.
Philly flexed their muscle for the first time in the series, taking that one 4-0. But Game 6 was a much tighter contest. Although the Flyers managed
Wait,
to
what
hold
did they
on
go
for a
to?
2-1 victory to force Game 7 back in Boston. 3-0 deficits
7.
for Philly seemed to be the theme of the series, as the Flyers in Game 7 found themselves
Dang.
trailing
They be
3-0.
so
With the Bruins
vicious.
fans rocking and rolling, Philly kept their cool and relied on the never-say-die attitude that got them that far. Just 3 minutes after going down 3-0, the Flyers responded with a goal of their own. It showed Boston that they weren't going anywhere just yet. Philly then built off this momentum and added 2 more goals. The Bruins were stunned and unable to find the net, as the Flyers had
Dang.
strung together 3 unanswered goals.
That's
In
crazy.
the third period, with the game now tied at 3, the Flyers scored a 4th straight goal and then held on for dear life the rest of the way. As the final horn sounded, Philly had pulled off the shocking comeback by winning 4-3 without even needing overtime. Reggie silences the Garden. In Game 1 of the 1995 Eastern Conference semis between the Knicks and Pacers, New York, with under 20 seconds remaining, held a 6-point advantage.
Let me ask y'all this. Y'all think Reggie Miller one of the greatest shooters? Y'all think he upper to be one of the greatest shooters? Reggie Miller? Talk to me, man.
At any level of basketball, that situation almost always means the game is over, or very rarely overtime if things get really crazy. But apparently Reggie Miller never got this message. He hit a contested 3 to make it a 3-point game, then intercepted the Knicks' inbound pass, took one dribble behind the 3-point line, and hit another tough shot to tie. The craziness didn't stop there. After Knicks point guard John Starks missed 2 free throws, and center Patrick Ewing missed the putback, Miller grabbed the rebound before being fouled by Starks. Miller stepped up to the line and calmly sank both free throws for 2 points and the win. Reggie had done the seemingly impossible, scoring 8 points in 9 seconds, while the Knicks were held scoreless. Riding high after this incredible individual performance from their leader.
Okay, this is over. It's over. It's at the end of the video anyway. I'm glad he said this for last, but he definitely missed T-Mac. But I don't think T-Mac was beasting like Reggie. I never knew this about Reggie. What the... Bro. Talking about choke. Bro, what? Hey, that's beasting. That is beasting, man. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your favorite comeback in sports history down below. Let me know what you think of this video and any other videos like to me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, push that notification bell. With that being said, see you guys next video.